Hey guys, Steve here. Today we got a game in the Jean Bart for you. JoJo on the screen here. The map, Fault Line. Fault Line needs a lot of work, but it's an easily exploitable map, or there's once you understand how it works, you can kind of counter how it works, and that's usually pretty effective. We're also going to be talking about pinning lines, kind of projecting power in a battleship. Usually battleships, I got a video tomorrow I think we'll probably put up to actively create crossfires. This is more of a passively creating crossfire situation due to the fact that we know how the map usually works. So fault line usually works in a a clockwise circular motion. We're in the south center spawn. This is kind of the key spawn that usually loses the game for the south. For some reason, people that spawn here go to the west. They are drawn over there like a magnet. Perhaps there's some sort of invisible black hole force over there that we have not yet detected. But anyway, the north has their center spawn. They can already attack our southeast side. Our south center spawn cannot already attack the northwest side. So the north center spawn has the advantage. All the north has to do is kill the ships on the southeast of the map very quickly, get on the base. They should win about 8 out of 10 times. If you understand that and you know how to play this map, you can dominate it. Our goal in the south here, especially in the center, is to counter that. We cannot aggressively push or put pressure onto their northwest side like they can put pressure onto our southeast side right off the bat. So the north has an inherent advantage. Usually most people don't understand that though, and they either play kind of passively, which this north spawn or this north team plays a little passively, but our position is intended to stop them from pushing south. You can see here by being in this spot, as long as we're keeping an eye on the northwest, we don't want to get crossfire from there. You can see on the map they do potentially have angles there, but we can prevent them or at least pressure them from moving south from the center spawn and the northeast spawn. So that's the goal here. If you're in a cruiser, you can play here. It's a little more dangerous. Usually in a cruiser, I'll just sail to the east from the center spawn in the south here. But this is a good spot here. Now, Belfast pops up right off the bat. I'd love to pop him. Looks like he's slowing down, so the British cruisers take a little while to slow down, but they can take off like a rocket. So he sees the shot incoming and takes off before we can actually hit him. Good dodge there. I will note in this game that even though our team overloads the west, they actually get roundly defeated over there, which is kind of interesting. Our destroyer was heading there, but he is playing the center lake area, which is better. I'd rather him be a little bit more centrally located, help spot, but regardless. And then our eastern guys, one of them is going to go all the way to the east, which is, again, a major mistake. So kind of typical deployment, kind of typical creating disadvantages for yourself just by your positioning on this map. South team usually deploys very poorly, 9 out of 10 times you see. This is a typical deployment, and they should lose as long as the north exploits it. Anyways, we got a Vlad that was going broadside. We hit him. We got a CNAP that's going broadside. We're going to attempt to hit them, and we're relatively protected. Again, as long as we are not taking crossfire from the northwest. And if you are in that northwest position and you see someone playing here, you want to try and broadside them because this is a very powerful spot. Now, they have both destroyers over there, and they're going to be kind of pushing aggressively forward. But we need to, basically what we're trying to do is just stop them from pushing forward. Again, the north center and the northeast have the advantage on this map. All they have to really do is push forward, kill the ships directly to the south of them. They should win. But we can slow them down here. And this is a role that battleships have. You can't do this from the back line because you don't have angles, you don't have the reach. You can't, even if you can reach targets, you're not accurate enough. You want to be as close as possible in a battleship generally. There's two things preventing you. Destroyers, which we're obviously having trouble dealing with already, and if you push too far forward, you're creating crossfire opportunities for the enemy team. So those are the two limiting factors on how far forward you can get. But the Jean Bart, the closer you are to the targets, the more dangerous it gets, of course. So we're fine just anchoring this line right here as long as possible. CNOP, he's made it 6 tiers. He still has no idea that Russian battleships get wrecked in the side. We'll continue to try and drive that lesson home to him, and it's very easy to do so. But again, what we're doing in this situation is expecting basically the right-hand portion of the north spawn team. They want to push forward south. Whether they know they want to do that or not, that's what they want to do. By being here, the further far forward they go, the more pressure we can get on their sides. Now, look at how aggressive our team is. They're all the way in their northeast. Alright, I'm not going to get into what our team's doing as much. We're basically just playing this how I want to play this, and it ends up working out pretty well. CNOP's taking more and more damage. He's beginning to angle a little bit. The Vlad is also anchored basically directly north of us. You can see that left ship when we zoom out there. He's taken kind of a mirrored position to us. Same thing, nose in, kind of holding down lines. He's not really actively creating crossfires. He's just deciding to duke it out with us. He's shooting HE at us. We're, of course, shooting AP, trying to kill these ships whenever we get the chance. You know, broadside New Orleans, broadside CNOPs, broadside Vlad, pod shots at destroyers. These are all opportunities we want to take. For some reason, Vlad backs up and goes broadside here, trying to punish that. Again, at the longer range you are from a target, you know, the battleships become less and less accurate. The harder it is to critically punish those opportunities, but we still want to be looking for them and take the shots whenever possible. I guess maybe we should talk about why these two blue players are in kind of a weird position on the northeast side of the map now. They're basically trying to bum rush 6 ships with their 2 ships, and they want to wipe them out and then get on the cap. That's not effective play. You need several miracles to occur to have 2 ships kill 6 full health ships. Yeah, they have support from me, but you can see the rest of my team is in the back line in the southwest doing basically nothing, letting the enemy advance. And that's becoming a problem here for us. You can see we're going to continually check over there, see if we have crossfires on them, because now we have to slow down not only the entirety of the northeast sector, but these guys pushing south. They can get crossfires onto us and drive our team into the sea, basically. So kind of a bizarre game in terms of blues positioning. Reds is a little bit more typical. Again, if red understood what they would do, they would just be wiping out the eastern flank, and then they should have already basically won this game by now. Now, once we've kind of relieved pressure on ourselves, you can see we're, again, turning our guns in between salvos. Vlad, Jean Bart both have flat front turrets. You can knock each other's turrets out fairly easily. We want to angle them away from that ship whenever we shoot. So we shoot, turn our guns to the side there, lock them. That creates an angled target, protects those guns much more than just pointing them directly at the front. But now that, you know, we don't really have any other pressure from that eastern flank at this point in time, so we can deal with him. He's got a major advantage, obviously. Full health to basically, we're going to have quarter health or 20% health after we get that heal involved. But he gets a little impatient here, and we knock both of his guns out. Russian battleships, you know, depending on how many damage cons they have with their build, they can usually repair that pretty quickly, but that can be kind of frustrating. And I think usually when you're in these kind of protracted fights, one or the other players is going to get a little bit frustrated. Fletcher, annoying gnat flying around our head there. In the smoke, we blow him out of the water, no problem. You know. And somehow our team has managed to go up quite a bit here with this kind of positioning. I don't want you to look at what the blue team's done here and say, okay, this is the strategy. Let's rope a dope in the southwest, zoom very quickly to the northeast. Usually that's not going to work. Alabama's peeking around broadside. We're going to, of course, take a shot at him. And we do get some nice damage there. No citadels, but roughly the equivalent of 1 citadel shot. And then the Vlad, again, he could just weather us down, but he gets impatient for some reason. He decides to go full broadside. I don't know if those guns are still disabled or what the problem is, but we'll see how effective that strategy is. And, well, apparently not very effective at all. Alabama's going down. we're in kind of wrap-up mode now. Now, our cruiser, he managed to get all the way on the base, and he is putting pressure on there. He will die. It's not really sustainable to capture a base in a ship that can be outspotted by, when they have a destroyer in the area that can spot you. You're going to have a hard time capturing it. But I'm fine with that. You're putting pressure on the base at this point in time, making them respond. That's an alright play. It's not a good play to decide when the bell rings, when the game starts, okay, I'm going to zoom past 6 ships, sink them all, and then get on the base. But, up until this point in the match, we really just spawned, got to where we are right now, parked it, and then just due to the natural flow of this game, usually the ships, again, will be pushing south. We can access their broadsides, kind of like where the Belfast was trying to do. We had broadside shots at him. Usually, the red team, if they want to be aggressive, if they want to win the game reliably, they'll all kind of push down south. And then from that position, you can get those crossfire shots, do some major damage, slow them down, or at least, bang them up enough to give your team on the west, who usually pushes aggressively into their base, some more time to do that. Sometimes you got to create your own crossfires. Sometimes just the flow of the match creates them for you if you're in the right position. So understanding how the maps work, quite valuable, allows you to exploit that information and apply pressure. Again, had we sailed to the west, we couldn't really do anything. We could not affect those 6 ships that spawn on the eastern half of the map, and then we'd basically be fighting frontally angled battleships to the north of us. So I don't understand why the blue South Center spawn always goes west, but they always do. I very rarely see it work out. Anyway, we've kind of routed the team now. Leon's being pursued by the Vlad, so we're keeping an eye on the map. Looks like he's going to come around this second island chain broadside to us. We want to get as close as possible to that. If we're going to sit in the back trying to shoot a 20-kilometer shot, we may get a decent shot. We may get 1,000 damage. But the closer we are, the more reliable that damage is. The threat to us, the destroyer has killed the New Orleans, I believe, that was attempting to cap, or at least putting pressure on the cap. That's fine. We're not in a massive danger of losing this game right now, but we don't want to get too careless. And I've looked around a couple times. We're keeping an eye on the map, trying to see where that destroyer is. He's probably not focused on us just because of how strong our counter pushes coming up that eastern flank. But in terms of my own safety, that's the main threat. Now we can see he's actually focused on the other side. He's torping. And then we're going to see on the map, he's going to kind of have an angled, a beeline escape route right towards us. Leon pops right around just as we expected. We're able to ambush, knock out a gun, do some decent damage, and then I think the Vlad's going to finish him off. Now you'll see here, I burned the damage count because I was assuming that Leon was going to die, or, it wasn't that critical if I died anyways, so I put the fire out initially. He did get one HE shell, and right as he died, that's a fatal shot to us. There's nothing we can do. I'm just kind of pre-aiming my guns here to see if that destroyer will squirt around. Look on the map. You can see there's a decent chance he's going to come right through here. We don't have a lot of time, but we're going to actually take a blind shot here just to see if we can, that's a 0.00% chance shot. Of course it doesn't hit, but might as well take it anyways. But you can see just kind of pinning that angle, and again, the main focus was preventing the team from moving from the center north and the northeast down to our southeast spawn, and we were able to do that. And when I play in that north, the right hand side of the map, and someone's pinning that angle, A, I recognize them as a good player, but B, I recognize that kind of changes the strategy. We cannot be as aggressive. Those North spawns, if they kill those 3 ships on the right hand side, they can punch through onto the base in about 4 or 5 minutes, and usually the south team that's all migrated to the west, they cannot get back to the base to get back on the cap and win at that point in time. So that's kind of how you counter that play from that position, and it was pretty effective there. Anyway, that's a look at the Jean Bart. Hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. New to the channel, consider subscribing. A lot of World of Warships coming all the time. Questions, comments, leave them below. I do love to hear from you guys. And we'll see y'all later. All right, peace.